India.
A true visionary with the ability to have concerns and work for a future not tangible to present eyes. Today we have with us the well-recognized green man, Desai. I, Vishwarupa Rath, welcome you all to Uday India Digital. On the eve of National Energy Conservation Day, we shall have our eminent environmentalist to talk on the issue of energy conservation. It's our pride to break the news today that Mr. Desai will be getting national recognition and award from the President of India for energy conservation. In the past, Mr. Desai has won many awards from former Chief Minister of Gujarat, Narendra Modi. He has also been awarded the prestigious Global Environment and Climate Action Citizen Award in Dubai. In a vital time like this, when India will be taking the charge against climate change, energy conservation is the need of the hour. So let's directly converse with the energy conservationist himself and know his views. I extend the warmest of welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
Heartiest congratulations to you for getting this very prestigious award in the forthcoming time.
Thank you.
So, please tell us about your journey of energy conservation as an entrepreneur.
I would say my journey as an entrepreneur, it evolved. So I would say that how it started was being into textiles. I did my BCom, MA, MBA, and I came into textiles, and textiles was driven in a very conservative way then. So at that time, the scope of energy conservation was something which nobody had analyzed. And I belonged to that sector. When I did my MBA, I was reading those PepsiCo and Coca-Cola and all those case studies. And at that point of time, I realized that we should do something as an entrepreneur, because that's a very strong position. What can we do for our country? What can we give back to the society? At the same time, because textile was going through a phase, so what is this one thing which I can save a lot of energy and do well for my entire establishment? And that is where energy conservation and environmental protection came, it unfolded, I would say. So that is how energy conservation happened to me. Yes, in the journey, I would say that my entire, my general manager, my chief engineer, everyone, they got so passionate, and eventually there is this thing that we touched different benchmarks, and again, God's grace and blessings that things are happening. As an MSME, whatever has happened is something, again, I would like to, very graciously say that Narendra Modi ji somewhere has been there in the entire forte, because जो 2011 में जो first vibrant Gujarat was there, and there we were awarded with the best industry of Gujarat for quality and environmental protection. At that time I didn't know any of the ministers, मुझे कुछ भी नहीं पता था. But once I was there, I realized that if this is what Modi ji can do for me, I want to give back to the community, the society, and the climate. And that is how the journey began. So as an entrepreneur, you can say energy conservation happened to me, it unfolded.
That's very nice to know, actually, sir. What kind of efforts have you made for energy conservation or environmental protection?
I would say there are, technically there are a lot of things in the aspect of textile industry which I am talking about. So in our industry, there is an entire process which is happening in a drum vessel, and the entire, the source of energy would be coal-based steam. So after the process, the steam is let off, and that steam will be wasted in the air. What we do is we trap the steam, we take it back to the boiler, we do the boiler feed water, like heating with that excessive steam which is wasted. So there are a lot of other things which are there in our industry which are technically so different and which are very unique. as well as what I believe is energy conservation is not something which is like rocket science. I believe that there are various ways in which maybe just a rooftop, if you are changing with a UV light protector, then also it's a very big thing. So in our industry entirely, the illumination as well as the entire vicinity of this place is surrounded in such a way that we don't require too much lighting in the daytime. So that is again one thing. Then we have planted more than 5,000 trees, plants, shrubs. You will be surprised that as such textile is an industry which is known for pollution, because water pollution, air pollution वगैरह के लिए. But you will be surprised that what we have done is you will find squirrels, you will find parrots, you will find sparrows, you will find even peacocks in the factory visiting. So that is because if you provide an environment for them, and my entire staff, workers, they're also experiencing a lot of positivity because of that. Even the production has changed. So there are lots and lots of measures that we've kept on doing. Every year we introduce few other things. The main part again is my entire industry is working on a windmill based power generation. So not a single unit of energy, जो electricity हम लोग normally ले रहे हैं with the coal based power. Again, rainwater harvesting, जितना भी पूरा factory है, so there is an entire rainwater harvesting system which is set. So all the water, rainwater जो है, it gets collected and we also don't use it again. It goes into the land and we just want to give that to Mother Earth. So those are the kind of things, because हम अगर if you talk about वास्तु शास्त्र, तो वास्तु में भी ऐसा लिखा है कि जमीन में पानी देना चाहिए. So that this is what we do, and there are lots and lots of other dimensions also of energy conservation which we every year. So I would like to invite you as well as the Uday India Parivar to come and see the factory once whenever you have the time.
So it would be our pleasure. It's like you give back to everything you come across, be it the land, the air, or the animals themselves.
Absolutely.
Okay. When India is hosting the G20 summit, are you going to make any special efforts toward climate change regarding that?
See, as I mentioned that our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has played a very, very, very super part, in my entire this thing. So my passion begins from the time when I was just 32. And it started with that, and I committed myself. I pledged I am going to do a lot of things. So every time, whenever he said clean India, green India, so we also came up with a campaign and we continued it. So now when G20 has come, it's such a big pride and it's such a big honor that all the countries of the world will recognize. And I think with Modi ji's dimensional leadership, it will not be a day soon that we will become the champions. And we have the potential, because if India does a lot of things and it changes the way he is origined, so I think we can do a lot of things. But individually, I believe that we have started the Satyagraha against pollution and climate change. And I'm going to take it to the next generation. What we do is we go to the colleges, we go to the schools, and we try to educate people, educate the children, educate the other industries, how we can bring the change. Because ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि some few governments can change the entire thing. It is the onus of the people. It is we the people. अगर हम support करेंगे तो ही हो पाएगा. Otherwise it is not feasible that only a government or only a particular person can do. But G20 is the pride of India. Narendra Modi has got it here, and let's all gather. And for that, मेरा छोटा सा contribution होगा. I'll be ready to give everything for that. So that's what.
That's very inspiring, sir. So, railway stations are one of the most polluted regions. You have taken the initiative to turn the railways green too. Tell us more about it.
I would say railways are the one, commuting के लिए the most important, the channel of entire India is the railways. And this thought came that how can a railway station speak about environment, or it can brand environmentalism. So that is where the entire thing started. Was Udna station, which is there in Surat in Gujarat. and Udna is a station. From there trains to like all this UP, Bihar, Orissa, Jharkhand, where a lot of working community of Surat is based. They travel to all those places, and Udna was one station which had a lot of other things, but it was not, it could not be possible because these are the working class, and how would that be a green station? But here the entire thing started. We started greenifying the station. We started adding biophilic. We added a lot of plants and trees. So there are more than 3,400 trees in Udna, as well as there is a Pulwama Shahid Smarak, jo Zinda Pulwama Shahid Smarak. There are 40 trees which pay tribute to our Pulwama martyrs. और वो पहला ऐसा शहीद स्मारक है जो ऐसा हमने बनाया कि जो पेड़ों के द्वारा वो जिंदा है, हमारे जो सैनिक हैं और शहीद हैं, एंड दे आर गोइंग टू गिव फॉर द नेक्स्ट जनरेशंस, वो रोग प्रतिकारक शक्ति और ऑक्सीजन देंगे. सो ऐसे 50 पेंटिंग है और वहाँ पे वो स्टेशन पे, और वहाँ पे बहुत सारे ऐसे मैसेजेस है. सो अ लॉट ऑफ स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स फ्रॉम एंड कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स ऑफ Surat, around Surat, and even from Bombay, they visit this place just to take a study tour, just to know about the station. One more thing is, Udna station recently only got into the India Book of Records, that this is the first ever railway station to get into the India books. Even there is a Shahid Smriti one, which is a Miyawaki forest which is there, and that is the first Miyawaki forest of the Indian railways. So there was a concept in which this wasted land जहाँ पे dumping होता था, waste dump होता था, green waste dump होता था, उसको convert करके there is a Miyawaki forest now, and that Miyawaki forest has migratory birds. We are hosting a lot of other this thing. There is in recent times we'll be launching the India Gate, and there will be a silhouette of the army people. So a lot of things are going to be there. So Udna station is one of its kind, but it is a symbolism of environmentalism as well as energy conservation, a lot of things in which it interacts with the people, a local people, those people who really matter.
They can actually relate with the problem at hand,
Absolutely, and they are those people, those who come from that background that, they don't have the kind of vision because उनको रोज बेरोज की जिंदगी में जीना है, and how they will be contributing is something which is far away. But now if you see Udna, this is the difference, that the attitude of the people has changed. You will see the auto rickshaw people are giving water to the plants and they are taking care of the plants. So this is the change which Udna has got, and that is fantastic. And that is where I'm saying that Modi ji का जो vision था कि clean जो इंडिया का, तो वो क्लीन इंडिया से एक मैसेज मिला था और वो ब्रांडिंग से बहुत सारी चीजें हुई थी. तो कहीं ना कहीं हम सब वो इनिशिएटिव से प्रभावित हुए थे. सो दिस इज अ सिमिलर रन. सो दैट्स व्हाट.
So where do you see India going in terms of climate action?
I would say India has a phenomenal potential. Again, under the aegis of Modi ji, Gujarat ka election hua. I'm talking too much about Modi ji, and but I'm a fan. Like, why? Because I have seen him working in Gujarat when he was the chief minister, and I was very young by then. And I believe climate action is something which requires a massive action. Population है हमारे पास. अगर वो drive हो सकता है population in a right way, and channelize अगर हो सकता है, तो we can beat the entire world. And in case if we do it on a macro level, I think the world will have to see, the world will have to ponder, and they will have to take inspiration and notes from us that okay, this is the way. But the fact again is we are going to face a very big crisis, because abhi recently only, if you've heard, there is a news story about like how India will get the worst of its kind of a heat wave in which crores of people will lose their jobs. So it is imperative. मैं इसीलिए बोल रहा हूँ वापस कि this is not the onus of only the prime minister or the central government or the ruling government. It is the onus of each and every person, because मैं ऐसा मानता हूँ पर्यावरण सेनानी एक एक जन को बनना पड़ेगा. if that person is a student, अगर वो प्रोफेशनल है, वो डॉक्टर है, वो इंजीनियर है, वो अगर लॉयर है, आप सोचेंगे कि ये कैसे, तो मैं ऐसा बोलूँगा कि अगर एक स्टूडेंट है, वो स्टूडेंट कैसे कंट्रीब्यूट कर पाएगा, बिकॉज द स्टूडेंट कैन स्पीक अबाउट इट. आप सोशल मीडिया में हैं, सोशल मीडिया में आप शेयर कीजिए कि व्हाट इज एग्जैक्टली क्लाइमेट चेंज एंड हाउ थिंग्स कैन हैपन एंड व्हाट कैन बी लॉयर कैसे मदद कर सकता है कि ऐसे रूल्स रेगुलेशंस और ऐसे लॉज ला सकता है कि जिसमें ट्री प्लांटेशंस को कैसे सेव कर सकते हैं. बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं कि जो जहाँ पे लॉयर्स मदद कर सकते हैं. हाउ कैन इन इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट एंड अ प्रोफेशनल हेल्प, so they can also contribute in their ways of giving money or funds and everything. And how can a doctor, because if I'm talking about Japan, where the entire percentage of tree plantation is 70% of their geographical area is covered by forest. तो वहाँ पे अगर बीमार होते हैं तो पहले डॉक्टर ऐसे बोलते हैं कि यू गो टू द फॉरेस्ट फॉर एंड स्पेंड सम 45 मिनट्स एंड you take care of yourself, discharge from the anxiety and the other things. So that is where the doctor can play a role. So I think it is very necessary that all the people in the society play a role, and how we all can get onto that level so that we can get the best of the climate action.
Just like you said that everyone can have a role in it, and can you specify what role can youth play in it?
So I think that the youth these days is the most confident, like you are. I have seen your videos and everything. So it's just fantastic. The potential the youth has. The youth knows that what is required. The youth is, they have everything. They know the social media handling so well that no other person can. And what is influencing the major people is social media. So in case if the youth says okay, we also want to contribute, and some part of their lives if they are dedicating to such a cause, I think not only for the country, for the climate action, but for the youth themselves also, because कहीं ना कहीं ये youth has lost that touch with the nature. तो वो वहाँ पे क्या होगा कि for them also like एक level of anxiety कम होगी if they get into the nature, if they meet the cows, if they are there in the nature. I think there is some unfolding which happens and which is beyond than anything else. कोई भी ऐसी चीज नहीं है जो डिजिटल के ऐसा कुछ रिप्लेस नेचर के साथ कर सकती है. आप काऊ को पैटिंग करेंगे, लेकिन द काइंड ऑफ वेव्स एंड द एनर्जी दैट कम, they are beyond. So those are all researched and proven things. So somewhere the youth has to connect, I think, with.
So you could say that the disconnection of youth with nature is leading to some of these anxiety problems that youth is particularly facing nowadays.
Yeah, I think anxiety, depression, I think a lot of mind fog, everything, because we live in this world. We are right now with the social media and everything. Yes, I will say that these are all things which are proving to be very, very good and supportive to us, but at the same time there is another thing that we are lacking. We are with the physical things which we are missing in life. So the youth, definitely I would again say that there is so much potential in the youth, and the youth is capable of anything whatever they desire. But एक ही चीज है कि in any country, if you see it is Japan, from the very childhood the kids are taught to go in the nature, explore the sand, explore the with the mud, play with the butterflies, play with the be in the environment. Why? Because आपकी रोग प्रतिकारक शक्ति, अगर इम्यूनिटी उस पे बेस्ड है, आपका ऑक्सीजन उसके ऊपर बेस्ड है, तो ये सबसे जरूरी है कि आप वहीं जाए कि जहाँ पे नेचर भरपूर लेवल पे दे रही है. सो आई थिंक इट्स द इजीएस्ट वे, सो दैट कनेक्ट विल गिव देम अ वेरी वेरी स्पेशल सपोर्ट. दैट्स व्हाट.
So this has been very intriguing discussion for me, and of course for all our viewers. And I'll congratulate you for the award. I'll wish that you'll get more such awards so that we can interact with you and we can know that what is being done and what more can be done for our energy conservation.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, and God bless you as well as all of you. Thank you so much for listening to me. And in any case, if you want to get if you want any suggestions, any questions, this thing, it would be my pleasure to reply back.
Thank you, sir, for being with us today.